everyone. I'm sitting in this beautiful green surroundings of a school today, and I have with me Mr. MCTP Chidambaram, who is the secretary and correspondent of the MCTM group of schools. Chiddu, as I know him, is particularly important for me to talk to because he's the one who started me on this journey of researching traditional games more than 2 decades ago. It is his pushing, his prodding that got me started on this journey, and what a journey it's been. But today, we are here to talk to him about his childhood, the games he played as a child, and what made him so fascinated by traditional games. So over to you, Chiddu. So tell us, were you a good boy or a bad boy growing up? A naughty boy?
That is something I don't think I can say. The people who've seen me must say it.
Your students may watch this, so maybe you need to say you were a good boy.
Perhaps.
But tell me something about your childhood. What did you play? How did you play?
Childhood was a nice childhood, just like I think growing up, going through the stages of being a child, enjoying. I enjoyed a lot of my time and company with my cousins. I was blessed to have many cousins. My mother's family was a large family.
Okay.
She came from 6 siblings, and each of them had a minimum 4 or 5
Oh, wow.
children. And then there was my grandmother's house in T Nagar, where we used to spend a lot of time. And that house shared a common wall with Vani Mahal, the original Vani Mahal with the tin roof.
Yeah.
And I've seen so many great artists perform there. Of course, those days you took it for granted. I've seen Manohar, I've seen Cho, and I used to be really enthralled by those
stage performances.
I don't know whether it was those initial things that later on led me to be a part of the Madras Players Committee for many years. Although I myself, I was a very shy kid.
Okay.
And I've been shy and had stage fright for long years. Sitting in the auditorium in my boarding school days, and when they used to put up this annual school play, one in English and one in Hindi, I was always awestruck by those kids who were on the stage, wondering with how much ease that they were just talking casually, and the whole thing seemed so natural. And I wish I had the confidence to do that. But it would be many years, in fact a few decades before I got the confidence to speak. So I think certain things happen in one's lifetime as your life goes along. Different things happen to different people at different times. Like I used to be pretty useless in mathematics in school, but then later on it came to a stage where our principal here in the school found me so adept in doing the school accounts and the setting the budget, doing the budget versus actuals, guiding the school. She said, I think you should come and take a class. And you won't believe it, I hardly scraped through Loyola College in BCom in accountancy.
But one question I have here, let's go back to your cousins.
Yeah, prior to that.
Yeah, how did you play with your cousins?
Oh, I used to enjoy, I used to look forward to the time that we would spend. My mother would quite often, take us and leave us in my grandmother's house in T Nagar. And there, many of the cousins would, if they were on holiday, they were mostly, all of us were on boarding. So whenever they were here, they'd be there. And like children, we would play all kinds of things, running around, hide and seek. And then my grandmother and aunts introduced us to our Indian games. That's when I started playing pallanguli and stuff like that. And more than the pallanguli, I was more fascinated by the shells, and I used to love to pick it up and play with it. And I used to wonder, were these manufactured or are they natural? Because they were the real ones, the real ones. So these were all there in my mind, very much there. And I enjoyed growing up in our culture, with our family, with our people, and we used to enjoy going to, because there were so many siblings to my mother's family, we had a lot of functions.
Were you among the younger cousins or the older ones?
I think I was in the middle half.
Okay.
Middle to lower half.
Okay. And did you play outdoors a lot also?
Yes.
Games like Gilli Danda? And,
yes. Everything. Running race, riding the cycle, learning to ride the cycle in my uncle's house and falling off. And most of those things were done barefoot, by the way, those days. Yeah, we just wore half pants and shirt. And very simple. Everything was
Life
very
was simple, yeah.
Yeah.
And
So,
did your cousins, I assume, were boys and girls?
Both, boys
and you
girls.
played with both of them?
Yes.
Or were the girls playing different games from the boys?
No, we played, see, the outdoor running games and all would be with my boy cousins. But the indoor ones and all with
the girls?
Both. Yeah, and then there will be sometimes family picnics, especially when we go to Ooty. Many of them were studying in Ooty, and it would be nice. They'll come home from school during weekends, and it was a nice time.
And did uncles, aunts and all join in when you were playing games? Was there ever a time that you played multi-generationally?
Mostly the ladies of the family.
They did.
And grandmother, yes.
And did grandparents tell you a lot of stories?
Yes, that would happen. The only one time I remember my grandmother spent exclusive time with me was when I had chicken pox. So that time my mother's mother came and stayed at home, and because she would know better, and with the vepalai and all that, they would make the vepam little urandes. And then also if it is itching, they will say don't itch and stuff like that. These kind of things, yes, these are from the older generation.
And how much do you think your relationship with your cousins grew because of the games and the memories you shared? Did it make you closer? And did those relationships endure?
Definitely. And it endures, still endures, so much so we have a family group, WhatsApp group, and that's very much live every day. And every cousin keeps posting on it.
And do you ever discuss some of those old memories of play?
Very often, especially every now and then, someone or the other will come up with one lot of photographs.
Oh, okay.
Black and white photographs, and one or two of my cousins are very keen photographers, so they would have preserved them, and they will bring it up.
And then all the memories flood.
Those take you back to those times.
Absolutely.
Really, to see all of us looking so young, my parents, aunts, and all of them. It was very nice.
So let me ask you a question. I think one of the most charming things about childhood in those days was how unstructured it was,
Definitely.
Play was free play.
Yes.
It wasn't go to this class or that class or whatever. And in today's day and age, with the pressures of childhood, how do you think this loss of free play is affecting the children, and what role can schools play to try to?
You have a very good point there. When I look around at the kids today, I feel sad in a way that they have completely lost out on the innocence of childhood. We were so happy playing with marbles, and each marble fascinated us. The big one, small one, and all that. Then we also play something called croquet with after the examination, we'll have the examination pad, and then they'll throw stones. We'll be around a stump of a tree. We'll have to hit it. Then
with the examination pad.
Yeah.
Oh my!
all kinds. This was when I was here in Don Bosco. Those things used to happen. But little games, and we used to love to play the bambaram. The top. and then kite flying. Uh, these were the things which fascinated. The only thing slightly more sophisticated which I really liked and I did was aeromodeling.
Oh, okay.
I was a great enthusiast.
Oh, wow.
I would build planes. In fact,
That
yes,
must have been very intricate, no?
it was intricate. Means it was just fascinating. The first two models did not come off the design board. You know, you used to have.
Yeah.
We'll be given a map. It used to be India Hobby Center. That was the
I
only
remember,
place.
yeah.
And this was introduced. I think aero modeling was introduced to me by my youngest uncle,
Okay.
Chettiappan, and that shop was also introduced. That's the only one. And they had kits, and they would have free balsa sticks and sheets as well. And the best part was after trying 2-3 models, which I think I didn't build properly, the one which really flew well was something which I put together myself with no design paper, no
Oh,
nothing.
how nice.
And it was a glider, and I just kept balancing it. I got to know the center of gravity point, all these things you learn.
Yeah.
And then used to put clay dough in the front of the nose of the plane to see that it balances. And I went up to the top of our house, which is pretty high, and just chucked it down into a glide, and I was amazed to see it go around in circles and flying even 2 inches above the ground till it came
How
and gently
lovely.
settled on the
Do you still do this?
on the grass.
Do you still do this?
You know, I've been wanting to do this. In fact, I have 1 or 2 kits at home.
Oh, but
Just
you
I
must.
somehow have not found the time. I bought one, and it so happens that I got my daughter interested. She's interested in everything that I I did, and she became an aero modeler. She was a car model builder. She's built about 4 or 5 models, Lego, and done a lot of things. But I used to be interested in art as well.
Okay.
I used to love to draw, sketch, and paint,
Yeah.
and she picked those up from me.
Okay. So coming back to what we were talking about, schools, what role do you think schools can play in helping children balance the life of today but yet find some of the charm of the past? Do you think schools could do something?
Yeah, schools can do a lot of things because unfortunately we don't have that joint family system now,
Yeah.
and I guess that is part of becoming a modern society, and so what this family is not able to support, and also the size of the family is not the same anymore.
Yeah, it's single children
Most of
very
us have
often.
just one child,
Yeah.
leave alone 2.
Yeah.
And there's no question of cousins, and each one has gone off abroad and this
Yeah.
and that and other places. So I think the schools have a big role to play. I always believed that education is not just books, not just games. It's a lot to do with your value system, your
Principles.
cultural heritage.
So one last question. How, with the pressure of academics today, children seem to find less and less time to play. How does one balance that? What's your message? The importance of play, of games, of learning to win, to lose, many things that you've learned by playing, and we've all learned.
There's one switch for this, and that switch are the parents themselves.
Ah,
The parents are the ones who are doing too much helicoptering now.
so
They are
more.
busy, they're going to their work, so they want to ensure that in the time that the child has is
Kept busy.
every moment is put to use. They are learning this, they're learning that, and it is become an I, me, myself world. I did this, I did that, I won that cup.
Yeah.
In those days, it was not so much of I, me, myself. It was playing as a team, and when we
Yeah.
all won, we all felt happy together. That feeling has to come about, and I think this can happen from the parents.
But
So,
thank you, Chidu. So
good.
lovely to hear about your childhood journey, and
Nice talking to you.
as I say, it's all about the games.
Yes.